Well, I'd like to tell you that I'm so clever that I planned my whole career, but that wouldn't be true. In 1968, I started a consulting business, and my very first client was a family enterprise. At that time, I knew a good bit about organizational behavior, business behavior, and I did what I knew how to do, and I came away saying, I don't understand what's going on when you have these close, intimate relationships with family members. And it's just, none of my preparation told me that that was what I was going to find. So I looked around for some organized body of knowledge that would explain what I was seeing in family enterprise, and there wasn't one. So what I've done throughout my career is when I wanted to know something, I would go find who knew what I needed to know and have them teach me. I'd hire them. So I talked to psychologists, psychiatrists, organizational people. I talked to lawyers and accountants. And so I'm not any of those as a professional, but I've learned a lot from all of those people, and that's how I got started. Just slightly more than a year ago, I had a chance to meet with my very first client, which was in 1968. This is going to sound really rather strange, but the answer is yes. I have an intuitive sense. Every day, businessmen and women have to decide, is this a doable deal? So I've learned to trust my gut. And if it doesn't feel right, and when I get to analyzing, it's either it has to be neutral or favorable. If it's neutral to negative, I can't do it. One time I spent a meeting with a father and 5 sons, and they all slammed on the table and they cursed and swore through the meeting. And at the end, I told them I didn't think I could help them, and they asked me why. And so I told them what I thought. And one of the sons says, "But this is the best meeting we ever had." And I asked him why he said that. He said, "Well, everybody stayed until the end." So I don't feel that I have a charge that I have to take every family business that comes to me. It has to be a doable deal, and also I have to be able to love the people that I work with. I have no interest in working with people that I don't like. Quite frankly, in the early 90s, I came up with actually it was in the late 80s, I came up with a 10-point profile of the family that stays positively connected and in business. I won't give you all 10, but clearly shared values, especially about people, work, and money. Those are the issues that people argue about. So if you have common values about those 3 issues, you can go a long way. So shared values about people working on it. Shared power, the ability to share power over the generations, between genders, all that stuff is really important. Then shared power, a sense of traditions, and a willingness to learn and grow. Traditions are the glue that hold a family together. And what has to happen in successful families is they need to experience the old traditions and introduce new ones as well in order to enhance the continuity of the family. And then willingness to learn and grow. The very fact a family is willing to look at the positive possibilities and to learn from them says that they are open to solving their issues, whatever they might be. If a family is not willing to learn, then they are rigid, and it's a little bit like sticks. If you have willow sticks that are green, they're flexible, that's the same as being willing to learn and grow. If they're brittle, that's not willing to learn, and you can break them. So those would be the top 4 to start with. So and when I'm talking with a new client, those are the things that I ask about in some way. I try to find out that information. And back to your question, do you know? I'm a firm believer that we collect information at multiple levels of consciousness. And so I might go into a room and I can smell something, just intuitively. And that's then the clue to start looking around to see what is making that particular odor, if it's an odor.